Welcome back to the Daily Traders Podcast. This is episode number 26. All right, that's crazy. 26, that means we're 6 months in.
Half a year.
Whoa. Filming a podcast once a week. I'm your host, Mark. This is my co-host, Jack.
What's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Dude, that's insane.
That's crazy,
26
though.
weeks?
Wow.
Why is, I don't know why I'm so mind blown right now, but we've done this every single week. Have we taken a week off media?
Well, we've had to record 2 or 3 in 1 week once.
Yeah. Mark went on vacation.
Because I just got back.
Yeah, but have we missed a week uploading?
No, we've never missed one.
We haven't. Okay, I don't know why I'm so mind blown, guys, right
I
now,
don't
but
know,
we
it's
haven't
time
missed a
goes
single
fast.
episode. We've done an episode every single week for 6 months straight. That's crazy.
And today is National Spotify
Ooh, yes.
whatever day. What is it called? Spotify Wrapped.
And you
Mark,
can
how many minutes did we upload?
I just closed out of the tab.
It was like 1,100 something.
minutes
1,100 minutes worth
Yeah.
of the podcast.
of us talking.
Of us.
So about about
crazy.
25 hours. Yeah. If you listen to 25 hours of us talking, you're a real one.
Wow.
Yeah, appreciate.
But there's
you.
some cool metrics in there. Like we have 151 people who our podcast is their number one.
Yep.
There's
Oh,
a
that's
few
really
thousand, or it's in their top.
Let me
20 or
let me
whatever.
get this. All right, your
Yeah.
podcast was in the top 15% most shared globally.
What?
Wow.
Damn.
Top
Yeah.
15%. And then get
That's
this.
crazy.
All right, you're in the top 5% most followed podcast.
What?
Isn't that
Holy
insane?
dude, that's
I didn't realize we
insane.
were that big. And
Me
then it's
neither.
like,
Dude,
wow.
holy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not even finance podcast.
No,
That's
I
just
think, yeah.
podcast.
Podcast.
Oh,
On
yeah.
Spotify.
Podcast.
That's podcast on
That's
Spotify.
insane. Holy.
I know so many of these TikTok kids just know us just from TikTok, but we on Spotify,
Yeah, we're taking it. Holy.
Wow. A quick disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. We cannot give any financial advice. Nothing said in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimers will be in the description below. All right, thanks. On with the episode. I know, I'm excited.
That's awesome because
That
we
is awesome.
we started this kind of. Let's go over to the origin story of this podcast because
Yeah.
I guess this is kind of turned into a special. It's just Mark and I. But media, what we were all kind of sitting around in the old office. You could, I don't know, maybe we could throw up a clip of the old office in the clip or YouTube video, whatever this ends up being. And media, and we're all kind of sitting there you know what, we should start a podcast. So media and I, we hop in his car. Where do we drive, media?
we went to Guitar Center
We drive to Guitar Center. We buy
with Mark's credit card.
Yep, with Mark's credit card. We buy 2 of these bad Larrys. What else? We buy a booster. We buy some tripods. We had all the cameras, and I think that.
No, we technically didn't have all the cameras. You had an EOSR to start.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
eventually I bought
Just
another
had the
Black
mismatching
Magic.
cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got another Black Magic
We
because I went on a
threw
trip.
together this podcast setup
Yeah.
so last minute.
Yeah, we used to record into FL Studio, and I used to master it in there. But now we have this beautiful Rode board,
Nice.
which is great. Saves a bunch of time.
Wow.
And yeah.
And then we shot our first episode that day or the next day?
Yeah, literally the next day, and then just posted it on TikTok.
And it was electric.
One of the,
Electric?
It was an electric episode. One of the clips got 3 million views. It's still our most viewed TikTok clip.
That podcast
Crazy.
is
really funny.
the first episode. It's sadly enough, is the most popular one.
Really?
Yeah, if
How-
you look.
Well,
at
individually.
because it's the oldest. Yeah, it's the oldest.
Yeah, and people when you start an episode, when you start a series, where do you start? Episode
beginning.
1.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Not on YouTube.
Okay, so
Because we've got an episode on YouTube with over 100K.
Yeah,
views.
that one's probably the most popular, most viewed. But I think we should move on from kind of tuning our own horns about
Yeah,
how
well, if-
awesome our podcast.
Well, thank you guys. Let's say
Yeah,
thank you.
we got to thank you
Seriously.
guys for viewing, staying in touch, and it's only going to get better and better. We're putting more money into the studio. We actually have sponsors now.
Yeah.
We're flying out guests, so
Yeah.
much more to come, and it's
Exciting.
just the beginning. We love you guys. Thank you so much. I have a story of where I was trading in class, and that did really well, and I think people love to hear the stories. So I know you have a story of you trading in class.
Yeah, there's one. I mean, I've got a lot because
What's the most thing that the one where you made, lost, something like a pop quiz happened?
All right, so I was trading in class. I don't remember how much I was trading with. And I was trading cryptocurrency. I was trading Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it was I think math class or something. I had this
Yeah,
teacher.
I remember this.
Yeah. Do you remember exactly?
Yeah.
And I was, pretty much on my computer. We weren't supposed to be on our computers. I was hiding in the back of the room. I don't know if you were there for this, but I kept getting yelled at to shut my computer, and I was trying to day trade scalp. That was when I was day trading, not swing trading.
Yeah.
And my P&L was going, you know, up 100, down 100, up 100. And at that time, that was like a lot. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
how old are you?
How old was I?
That was like junior year.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
sort of
16,
like
17.
it was like spring, like when you kind of like learned over Christmas.
Yeah. So I was, you know, sitting there sweating because that was a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
And I remember being up like 400 or 500, shut my computer. I'm like, I'm good. And then I checked again, got yelled at, left class. And I remember sitting out. I was sitting outside in the hallway because I'm like, this. Like I'm doing my own. Like I don't need to be in this class. Like super. Like I don't need this school thing. At that point, my mindset had shifted into like I don't need to do this school.
Yeah.
I can trade full time, and so I went out into class. And I made a couple grand.
No way. Jeez.
Yeah, out of class, I made a couple grand. But that was
insane.
that was a very common like bi-weekly thing where I'd get yelled at for having my computer and then probably storm out of class. It was in we'll bleep his name class.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely
That's funny. So how long were you trading until you were like where you started getting that mentality of, dude, I don't need school?
I don't remember exactly, but once I had made more in a day than I made in a week at my normal job, and I had like a side company that was going like that I was running.
Yeah.
I had my own little company, and then I was just working like a normal 9 to 5. And so when that, you know, daily trading P&L surpassed my weekly income working my normal 9 to 5, then I was like, dang, like I really.
It was kind of like that moment where you realized, and I think that's really important for people out there watching, because I get this. I have a Snapchat now, like a business Snapchat, where I like post publicly and people, you know, can talk to me. A lot of, you know, the fans or people who interact with the TDT channel often. And the most common question I get is how do I know when I can go from just trading as a hobby to actually a full-time job? Because it's not like, you know, you can make what you make in a whole day, a whole week in an hour trading, right? That's not when it's like, okay, now I can go full-time trading. It's when you start making consistent profits and making consistent money over a certain amount of time. So like, what is that time? What was that time where you started making enough money over a certain period, built up enough capital where you're like, okay, I actually have stability in this, and it's not just some, you know, luck of the draw.
Yeah, and like and I want to say, like, when I was in high school, you know, at least the first 2 years, I was like very driven, very motivated in school.
Yeah.
And it was just like a side.
Like trying to get good grades.
Yeah, trying to get good grades.
Nerd.
I mean, I was
kidding.
I was a good student, and you know, I never really liked school, but for whatever reason, you know, freshman or sophomore year, you kind of get in your mind this like idea that, you know, you have to do well in school to get into a good college or whatever.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was, you know, working this job. I had my own company on the side. I was trying a million different little things, and I was trading. I still like was putting that, you know, up as like a option. Like, okay, do well in school, go to college. I didn't want that to be the option. And over those 2 years, my mindset completely shifted because I started doing well, and I started making money, not just trading. I had another company, like I said, and I realized that, you know, my whole life through school and whatnot, I was told, you know, you have to go to college and you have to follow the system. I never liked listening. I never liked following the rules in school. If it was like something you had to do with a group in school, I was always like super against doing what everyone else was doing. Yeah. Kind of like a little when I was a little kid. I went to 6 or 7 different schools because I could never, I just didn't, there was no school that fit me. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But I tried, because I moved to a different school for high school. I tried to kind of put on that like good student
studious hat.
Yeah, good studious hat.
Try to get good grades.
Try to get good grades.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I think kind of the whole point I was getting at there is that everyone wants to just quit their job, stop going to school, and start trading full time. But the real secret to it is like, you can trade on the side. You can have your side business.
Yeah.
You can go to school, go to college, go to high school, wherever you're at in your life. And once you start seeing those consistent results, then you could start like, I think doing things really fast in your life is not a good recipe for success, because if you put yourself as a trader in a position where you're like you need to make that money or else you can't pay rent, you are going to, that's just a recipe for disaster. You're going to make mental errors. You're going to trade poorly.
Yeah. And also, you know, like I said, it wasn't when it came like junior year. I was at that point where I was mentally like, okay, I don't need this. I
Yeah,
don't need
checked
school,
out.
and I wanted to do trade. I want to trade full time, and so that was when I had checked out of trying to get good grades and whatnot, and when it made sense to trade full time.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, which most people don't realize.
Which I dropped out after that.
Yeah, and then they hear all the time is like, only 80% of traders lose money, 10% break even, and then 10% make all the money. We've talked about like that's why it's so cool because the 10% make all the money. That's why trading is such a lucrative thing because it's a small percentage of people making all the money. But people generally tend to have like this mindset of that they're better than people.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't realize like how hard it is to be better than 90% of people. And I heard this quote online. I forgot. I think it was on TikTok, ironically. And this guy was pretty much talking about like in order to become a doctor, it takes 8 years of schooling, right? To get your PhD. In order to become a lawyer, it takes 6 years of schooling. In order to get your master's degree, it takes an MBA, 6 years of schooling. Your bachelor's, 4 years of schooling. In order to create a trading account, it takes 30 minutes. You can literally go like boop, 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 type, TD Ameritrade, put in your information, boom, you can trade.
Which is why the fail percentage of 99% of traders fail is so high because 99% of traders
it's not
made it.
It's not 99.
Yeah, whatever it is.
It's high though. It's a lot. Like not a lot of people make money trading because it's so hard, and because there's so much competition, and so, it's so accessible, and so anyone can do it, and, which is one of the great things about it. And then anyone can do it.
Yeah, and when you find something that works, like you get an edge. It's like a vending machine. It's like you could just print money.
I know.
It's crazy. All right, let's move on to our next topic. You want to talk about Elon Musk?
Oh yeah, I was looking at Tesla stock. I trade Tesla often, and I was just kind of going back to a more long-term chart, and Tesla's down like 40%, and I was thinking, wow, Elon Musk
40% off what?
Its highs. I mean, you can pull up a chart or something. Maybe down like 50%. It's down a lot, anyways. And I was thinking about like how that equates to Elon's net worth because he owns a good amount of Tesla. As far as publicly traded companies and being a CEO, he owns a large percentage of it. So Elon's down $100 billion.
$100 billion?
His net worth is down $100 billion. Holy cow. I mean, that's unreal. That's that's just unfathomable amount of money. And
which is what's his like net worth?
I don't even know. Ready? Now we have computers now, which is great. Ready? Elon Musk net worth. Elon Musk net worth.
That's got to be like 40, 50. That's 35%.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks. Only 191.2 billion.
Is that 2022?
Yeah, 2022.
So he just
November
lost
18th.
half of his net worth.
Yeah, I remember being poor. And
that's insane.
That's another thing about net worth too that I hear all the time, and every time I hear it, it makes my skin crawl. Or when people are like, eat the rich. They pay, Elon Musk is worth $200 billion. He pays only $1 billion in taxes. That's stupid. Elon Musk does not have $190 billion in his bank account that he can just pull out and go buy 100 Bugattis. You know what I mean? It's net worth in the form of equities. And I feel like a lot of, especially like the youth is uneducated in how net worth and building net worth. Oh my gosh, my sister told me this thing and it pissed me off. She was like, she saw this thing on TikTok where once people reach a net worth of 999 million, they can't make anymore.
What?
I was like, I actually wanted to explode. I was like, that makes zero sense. Because it's like, you own a company, it's IPOing, it does really well. Oh, it reaches 90. And these are like people's like mindsets. Like there's actually people out there that believe like no one should have more than $1 billion. That's stupid. No one should.
That's insane.
But it's like, the people with this much money they're changing the world. Like Elon, like Bill Gates, these guys are literally changing the world, and they can't do it if they didn't have that type of security. Because in order to make significant change, you have to take significant financial risk, right? So, if they want to, in order, like, $1 million isn't going to change. $100 billion, that could do something.
Yeah.
In order to take that type of risk, you can't do that if you don't have a certain amount of money. So it's just, like the knowledge out there on TikTok is so crazy.
Speaking of TikTok and Andrew Tate, I heard Tate saying that once you have $20 million, which isn't a lot, but he said once you have $20 million, your life is like you can have everything. Unless you want to buy a jet or a yacht, like you're set.
Yeah.
$20 million.
20
Buy
million.
anything
You're comfortable.
You're comfortable.
You can live off interest.
for
Put it
the
in
rest
fun.
of your life.
Chill.
20 million. But for me, I'm like, I'd burn through 20 million and that would be so easy.
I
Like,
mean,
you know how
you
fast
can't
I
even-
could spend 20
Oh,
million?
dude, I could spend 20 million before you could say 20 million. Like,
And I even think like 100 million is not a lot.
I know, like, what if you like a jet? I mean, would you buy an $80 million jet? Let's say, you get to the point where you can buy a jet. Well, you wouldn't spend, because you can buy a nice jet for 10 mil.
Yeah, but you start with a 10 mil jet and then you buy a 50 mil jet and then an 80 million jet.
I mean, yeah, it's all about priorities, right? It's like you have people who, like, are you ever going to stop? Like, at what amount of money are you going to be like, okay, I'm going to chill out. I'm going to, like, retire, like, chill with my kids.
Never.
Never.
No, never.
So,
Because there's no, like, I don't ever plan on retiring and there's no, like, money, like, amount that I'm going to hit and be like, all right, I'm done.
yeah.
Because it's about the journey for me. It's about, like, just loving work and having some purpose. It's not even about just that, like, monetary goal. Like, it's not. I set money goals, to push me forward, but that's not the end goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as far as money goes,
The end goal is just have freedom to do whatever and not have to follow any rules. Like guys with money, like I was,
right.
I was traveling, I was out of the country, and it was like I was looking at the because we were sitting in the customs line for like an hour coming back, and I'm like, I wonder what will you do? Like if I had a private jet, what would you do?
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and apparently, if you have a private jet and you're flying like out of the country into another country, you just pull up on the runway and like one person comes out and checks your passport. That's it. You don't have to go through the airport, sit in the customs line,
tell them what
have
you're
them
doing.
get all the questions.
That's
get
the funny thing. Yeah,
interrogated.
they don't even like if you're on a private jet, they don't even care why you're coming to this country. They're like,
They just
You're
check
like,
your
go.
passport.
they're like, all right.
Like one guy comes out on the runway, walks up to the
I know.
jet, and checks your
He's like-
passport.
It's like, all right.
So it's
you're
like
good.
really, I mean, that obviously like most rules, like every rule kind of disappears when you have money. Like rules are set to keep everyone in the system and like keep everyone broke essentially.
I know it's weird. I have so we're actually shorting the episodes now, but I have a really, really interesting statistic that we're going to bring up in the next step. So we're going to cut to a quick break here. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right, sounds good.
All right. All right.
All right, and we're back.
Nice.
what were you
That was a
gonna
quick little
say?
break. I have a really, really interesting statistic. I was trying to pull up stats. We had some clips that did really well talking about what it takes to be in the top 1%, which is a net worth of how much? Like 11 million?
Oh,
It was something like that.
Yeah.
$11 million net worth to be top 1%. But anyways, I was looking up wage and like yearly income for ages in the US. And so, oh wait, you have the notes.
Yeah.
Are you not in? All right, don't go on the notes. I want you to guess.
okay.
Did you just look it up?
no, I looked up the
Oh,
top 1%.
Okay, don't.
I don't even know your question.
Okay, good. So don't look at the notes. All right. This statistic blew my mind. Average wage of an 18-year-old is
Of an 18
a working 18-year-old. So not someone who's in college not making money, like a working
with
18.
debt, like not considering.
Yeah, like a minimum wage job in
I
US.
guess you wouldn't have debt unless you were at like a private school. It's gotta be low. It's gotta be like 20,000 a year.
Okay, it's actually $30,000 a year, and that
Okay.
actually was surprising me. I was like,
That's
damn,
actually.
like,
I feel like that's
it's like
high.
$566 a
Well,
week.
so that's a full time job.
Yeah, a full-time job. You're probably washing dishes. It's probably not that fun.
But what 18-year-old is gonna have a full time job?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That,
18-year-olds
the
are in
statistic is
school.
based off of like kids who are working. Like,
Oh,
if
kids
you're
who
working-
aren't in school.
Yeah, like when you're working full time. Like if you're in school, like
Yeah.
you don't have time to work that. You can't be working.
So if
full-time.
you're not in school, you're 18. You dropped out of school.
probably
or you
making,
graduated.
you're probably making $30,000 a year.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so now we're moving to 24. So you went to college right out of high school.
Yeah.
You graduated at 22. You've kind of established. You found some job. This is the statistic that blew my mind.
What is it?
What is the average wage of a 24-year-old in the U.S.?
48.
36,000.
No way.
Yeah.
36,000 for a 24-year-old?
Yep.
No
Average. So
way.
I'm pretty sure this is probably including all the people who didn't go to college or have some.
This is yeah.
20, 30,
Where
yeah,
most people are at after college.
$36,000. Isn't that interesting? So it's
That's
like
crazy.
so from an 18-year-old, right out of college. This is why I was like wanting to bring this
Wow,
up.
now I get it.
You get what I'm saying? An
Yeah,
18-year-old, $30,000. If you had some type of grind or some type of side hustle, in 6 years, you don't think you can make $6,000 extra dollars a year?
That's
The
insane.
wage went from $30,000 at 18 to $36,000 at 24. 6 years. You don't think you can make an extra $1,000 a year?
And whatever half or whatever the statistic is, like 40% of those people now have $100,000, $200,000 in college debt.
Yeah.
And they're only making $36,000.
I mean, those guys are, you're probably making extra $5,000 out of college. Like, it's probably not that much more insane. Okay.
Well, that's the average of everyone, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay. So now a 28-year-old is, I'll just save you the
Go for it.
stress of guessing it.
So the average
$44,000
yearly
wage of a 28-year-old.
24
And these are, okay, and just a
28-year-old?
28-year-old.
Okay.
And these are just results that I got from Google. What is the average wage of a 28-year-old in the US? $44,000.
$44,000 at
not
28.
It's not that much.
No, it's not.
It's not like that's, I mean, you were making more than that at
That's insane.
like 16.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows that there's like so much, like, there's so much potential to make money. And if you kind of like break out, it's really easy to be above average.
I remember looking up like top 1% of 18-year-olds
Income. Well, now you have like,
net worth or
now you have like social media, right? So now you have 14-year-olds making $1 million a year because they can post TikToks about, you know what I mean?
top one. It is cool. Okay, the top 1% of individual income by age in the United States. Top 1%. 16 years old, 45,000. 17, 79,000. 18, 65,000.
Word.
19, 71,000. So that's crazy. I remember looking up that and be like,
Are you in?
wow,
Oh wait, are
that's
you in the top
insane.
1%?
I didn't get to 20. Wait, I have to see more. Obviously,
It's
yeah.
probably-
But
I'm
just
gonna
curious
guess
what it
it's
is.
probably like 80 for 20 or 81
It's going up like.
Wait, where's the top 1%? Hang on.
for 20-year-olds.
Now I'm out of the thing.
Hey, no, it's right there. 20, right there. Boom.
80,000.
Nice.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, it just seems like nothing, but it is like crazy when you realize that's the top 1%.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta put it in perspective.
Yeah,
I
like
remember
underage.
looking up the top like 1% of like the highest. It was like I think 54 to like 60-year-old,
Yeah.
and I was like there at like I think 17.
Well, we
or
made that
18.
like that. Mean,
was
we made that
insane.
like statistic where like you could like retire. That we were just talking about, like working like. You could retire right now. You could just, you have enough money where you could just put into a fund and then forget about it and just sit on a beach in Florida and chill out. But it's like you had that motivation that got you to where
Yeah,
you
I
are
can never
today.
do that.
That would just never happen.
But where's the fun in that?
I know
Yeah,
there is
exactly.
no.
Where's
fun
the fun in waiting another year to sit on the beach of Florida and drink mimosas all day? This is not fun.
That sounds all right. That isn't too bad.
I don't know.
Okay, so kind of
Interesting.
we've been talking about income, but I think that should be motivating
Yeah.
to you guys, to our viewers.
Yeah.
I know I have some guys on my Snapchat who are young traders in high school, college, and I see them making more money than that. And it's, use that. Like it's not hard to be in the top 1% and make your dreams come true financially. It's extremely possible if you have that motivation. But I think moving on from that topic, I wanted to talk about our recent viral TikTok content.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like this
Oh,
is kind of
God.
like you
Oh,
guys
it
watching.
is.
This is like behind the scenes type of stuff.
Oh,
It's listen to media groan
Oh.
in the background. That's my reaction exactly.
glass
So my office is covered in glass
everywhere.
everywhere, and it's because can we pull up a TikTok on the video or whatever? Clip,
Yeah.
whatever. All right, you guys are watching it right now.
I'll put one on the screen.
Yeah, you guys are watching it. That is why, because it gets
You have to explain it.
because
for
it
the
gets a
audio
million
listeners.
because it gets a million views.
We're in the top 5% of
get-
audio listeners
exactly.
on Spotify. So go.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh,
know,
right.
explain it.
It's us destroying the bleep in our office. It's us throwing hammers at TVs.
What's the bleep?
I was gonna say, but I thought, are we not allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, I gotta
It's
beep
us
it.
destroying TVs and monitors.
And monitors.
I
and-
got mad and threw a hammer at my
Yeah.
TV. Like it's obviously for content.
Yeah, I got.
It's
mad.
entertainment, so-
I threw a wine glass.
Trying
on
to
my
get,
TV.
trying to run it up in the
And Mark,
algorithm.
there's like still shrapnel in your couch from that TV.
No, is there
Yeah,
in the couch?
I like stabbed myself.
Oh no!
I have like a little mini splinter on my finger.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
that's-
there's like little shards.
Can we
of-
vacuum that?
I tried.
oh
It's
no!
like stuck in the fabric.
Oh no! That's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
so okay, back to the initial whole point of this glass all over my office. We did a video. It was like, okay, how do we keep getting more and more extreme with the TikToks to get more views? And that's what you do with content. So I'm like, I'm gonna drink water out of a wine glass, and then I'm gonna spit it, and then I'm gonna throw the wine glass at the TV. so we got like, I don't know if they're cheap wine glasses or this is normal for glasses, but it turned into dust.
That was
like,
insane.
It's still like, you can go to my office right now and there will still be glass shrapnel everywhere. I've tried cleaning up. I've tried duct tape. I've tried vacuums. I've tried picking up one by one. It's just like, they're like repopulating. Like little glass shrapnel is like repopulating in my office. It's nonstop.
It's a miracle you didn't get it in your eye.
Oh my gosh. The video is so funny because when I throw it, my reaction's like, like I didn't expect it to.
Yeah.
It like combusted. It like imploded on itself. It was pretty violent.
All right. That's enough of that.
Yeah. I feel bad too.
Can I pull a stat back up, please?
A stat?
This is a cool stat.
You're just going to stats.
How rich do you have to be in the upper 1% in the US?
I feel like all these articles say a different number.
I know, probably.
It's so funny.
top 1% in the US, like all ages. To be in the 1% as an individual in the US, you have to make $758,000 a year. So that's crazy. I think at 20 years old, I'm in the top 1% of everyone in the US.
Yeah. But actually,
That's insane.
Okay, listen, at the same time, it's insane, but it's not that insane. Like, I'm looking out right now. There's no one in the street because it's raining, but but you walk down the New York City street, you can see 1,000 people. You can look around. There's 10 people right there that are making up $1 million a year. 1,000 people, and 1,000 people. So what would that be?
New York City.
Yeah, like just anywhere, like that. Like 1% is one out of every 100 people.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I feel like that's not like making $1 million a year seems so far fetched, but
it's not.
It's really not. Like, think about it. I had 700 kids in my high school, so that means statistically 7 of them are going to go on to make more than $1 million a year, which is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, again, it's like being rich at a young age and just making money in general seems like such a far-fetched thing for a lot of people, but it's really when you break it down statistically, it's really not that insane. Like, if you just have to be better than I feel like it's like PvP out here. Like, you just got to be better than the average Joe, and then you'll be fine.
I think people just don't even think it's possible.
What do you think the one thing is that is holding people back, kids back, younger kids from making, a substantial amount of money at a young age?
I think the amount of distractions, right now in this newer generation, like kids are so distracted. I feel like kids are so lazy. I mean, maybe it's just from what I've heard. Like my grandfather's my grandfather has a bunch of successful friends, and I've sat around and talked with them, and my grandfather's had success, and so they're all like, this younger generation's just lazy. Like, no one wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to work,
which is good for us because
it's good for
there's only a certain amount of money.
Well,
there's only a certain amount of money in the economy, and all that money has to go somewhere. And if you have 80-90% of the population being lazy, sitting on their bums, like just doing the bare minimum at their jobs and not striving for some other type of career, all that money's gonna have to go somewhere. So it's like you hear in the news often nowadays the wage gap and why it's not going to expand. I think the biggest reason why it's going to expand is because there's going to be a huge disparity between motivated and unmotivated kids in our generation because of the amount of distractions that are out there, like TikTok, and Instagram, social media especially, and who knows, maybe the metaverse in a couple of years. It's not catching on now.
Oh, I want to talk about my trades. I was on a nice little win streak. This this year's been great as far as my trades.
Yeah, which isn't saying after that I want to talk about like this next bull market and like because the fact that you're making money now in this market with this type of win streak, with those type of percentage gains, imagine what type of money you're going to be pulling in a year or so when we hit the next, because I think we got a bunch more.
Well, that's the thing. Like now I'm showing because if you guys don't know, like I post all my trades inside our mentorship group. Mm-hmm. We'll put a link in the description to that. I'll just be like, all right, I'm buying this stock. Or I'm selling this stock. So yeah, I've done that well this year. And that's since I've been like posting it publicly. But think about when I started, like 2018, 2019, 2020, when we were in a bull market, now you could probably imagine how well I was doing. Because this year I've called out 467% in gains, 75% win rate. I went like 200% in gains, like consecutively, like 7 for 7 trades in a row. It took a little 16% loss and then just had another 30% gainer. My average trade's like 30 to 40%, I think.
Yeah.
So,
wait, really? What was the last trade?
It was,
I must have missed
it. Ticker symbol CAT.
Yeah.
I'm in one right now. I'm down a bit. But yeah, it's The market's been tough this year. It's a bear market and it's very volatile.
Yeah.
You saw what happened today, which was crazy. And so you get caught on the wrong side of a move. It's insane. My trading volume, is split in a quarter of what it used to be a couple years ago, because that's what I was doing full time. And now I've got other things going on, like running a full time company, which I don't.
Yeah,
think
and also you're
understand
sizing according to the markets. You can't put on it's way more volatile, so the wins are going to be more substantial. These types of moves are going to be bigger, and there's more risk, right?
Yeah.
There's more risk, especially in options. You're trading a volatile market with options, so it's just a risky on top of risky. So you have to size accordingly, right? But I mean, like when this next bull market, I mean, people are predicting that this next bull market we have is going to blow away 2021.
That's why it's like, if you want to learn how to trade, like now's the time.
Exactly.
Learn now, and then you're going to be able to have
because if you can like figure it out, if you can like even trade and lose like a little bit of money, if you can keep going, by the time 2024 rolls around and you have capital ready to go and you know how to trade, you have a strategy, you are going to freaking print money, dude.
Yeah,
or if you're in the mentorship group.
Jack and I were out to dinner last night, and he was like, dude, like, I'm just so excited for the bull market. Like, Mark and I are just going to print, and everyone on the mentorship is just going to print.
Seriously.
And
because here's why. I think I explained it to you at dinner a little bit. Why I was reading a lot, or I stay updated with the news, financial news, economic news. And pretty much what is happening is we are having record high inflation, and the Fed is able to manipulate our inflation numbers, or CPI, Consumer Price Index, by what they do. The way they create the CPI number is by taking a certain amount of consumer goods, so apples, eggs, milk, hammers, right? Like just normal everyday goods, gasoline. And then they compare it to the actual amount of inflation from the year before, right? And that's the CPI number. But they can manipulate what's in the basket. So they're able to manipulate the actual CPI number and what we're seeing in inflation. So the reality of it is inflation is record high. Like we don't actually know what inflation is, but it's not 7%. It's not 8%. It's higher, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a whole political thing where they don't want a certain administrations having this type of inflation because it's bad for the economy, whatnot. But move on from that. But pretty much what's happening, we're having extremely increased inflation, right?
Yep.
And then the market is tanking. We are, SPY's down 20% off of its highs, right? So it's losing 20% of value, but the actual dollar cost is up 10%. So what's happening is eventually the actual dollar cost and the actual, PE ratio and the recognized value of these equities are going to have to meet somewhere. And they're going to have to go to the dollar value. So the dollar value has gone up and the prices have gone down. So eventually the actual value is going to have to meet the price value, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm trying to come up with a metaphor. So like the actual value of Tesla is $100, right? For Tesla's not $100. I'm just using a name that people know. It's $100, right? And the price value increases by 20%. So it's like, because the actual Apple costs more money than it did a year ago. So that's where the price should be. But the actual value's gone down. So when the market starts to pick up again, they're going to have to meet. They're going to have to find equilibrium. And that is going to cause a huge bull market and a huge, huge upside. So that's why it's like, if you can get behind these moves, you're just going to print money. So stop like negating saying, or just not negating, stop like telling yourself, hey, I'm just going to put off trading and I'll figure it out when I have more free time. Like start learning. Yeah. Like pick up a computer, start watching YouTube videos, find a mentor that you like, find some strategies, find a brokerage and start playing around, small size. Because if you're not ready for when this bull market comes, you are going to significantly miss out. And I'm sorry to say it, but you snooze, you lose. So
all you need is a mentorship group.
And then you will be able to literally have your own treasury on your computer.
And
you will
private
just be able
jets.
to print and jets, whatever.
No, we can't legally promise that.
No, that's just
well, I wish though.
No, but seriously, take this time now to learn. You don't even have to trade with your money, just paper trade. I always say that. You don't have to take any risk. And you don't have to do it full time. Just spend some time after school or after your job. Learning. And, there's no harm in trying. You might not like it. You might like it. You might do well. You might not. But
100%.
Better than not trying and having regret.
Well, on that note, I think that is pretty much, we're rearing up on our 40-minute mark.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the episodes a little shorter.
Yeah, you guys, I think nowadays it makes more sense. People aren't in the cars for that long. It's easier. Attention spans are going shorter and shorter. So we think the 40-minute podcast have been doing better, or you guys like them more. So I think we're going to stick to this time frame. Yeah, pretty much. But Anyways,
There we go.
With that said,
Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. Again, like no guests, but this was a special for being, 6 months into this.
Jesus, that's literally insane.
Top 5%
I can't
of
believe it.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys so much for, pushing us forward and bringing us to where we are today. We literally could not have done it without you. Without you guys, this podcast is not possible. So thank you so much. We'll put down, how much are we going to give them off the mentorship?
Oh, we'll give you guys $100 off with discount code
Podcast 99.
Podcast 99.
All right, we'll put that in the description. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, later.
Peace. Bye.